Check out the jam, motherfucker! Kick out the jam! Yeah! Kick out the jam! If I'm starting to sweat, you know my shirt's on wet. What I'm feeling is the sound that I'm bound to be bound off the ceiling. You gotta have it, baby, you can't do it without them. When you get the feeling, you gotta talk about put that mic in my hand and let them kick out the jam. Yeah, kick out the jam. Let's kick out.
What's up, buddies? It's Cauliflower For The Ears. Remember, our call-in number is 347-326-9741. I am Brian Butcher Brown, also known as Mr. Perfect, after going perfect in UFC 136 last week. Joining me tonight is Michael Delicious Dolan, because he's the only one here, because Franco hates us and has pulled the Judas and turned his back on us once again. Michael.
Well, I appreciate it, Dubs. I'm glad to be here. With us, as always, Nick Frank. Oh, wait a second. Yeah. Nick Frank, nowhere to be found.
Another zero on the attendance. It's all going to rack up eventually, you know. But
we talked about that earlier, too, dude, that, whenever there's time to pick plays, pick fights, he's here, but whenever there's time to just freelance and do a whirling dervish, if you will, that peas boy is never here.
Well, I guess when you can kick our balls in the way he has and just keep bringing it and adding to his point totals, I guess you can just pick and choose when you want to show up. You don't have to contribute, because who wants to hang out with the common people?
That's
you want to hang out with the common people, Dola?
Not at all. Unfortunately, I'm one of them, and I don't even want to hang out with them.
I know. Normally, I like to just put my hand to the face of a common person and say, back off. But now, next thing I know, I'm at the soup kitchen with him. You know what I'm saying?
That's it, man. That's it. What can you do, man? We can't all be kings. The world needs ditch diggers too.
Absolutely, and I guess I'm a ditch digger just like you.
Yeah,
buddy.
welcome to the ditch digger show, dickbags.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but like you pointed out, Franco doesn't show up when there's no cards, so I guess there's really no show. I think we just showed up for the 4 minutes to get the attendance on the card, and And, Big Doll just said great tune, and, I appreciate it, Doll. MC5. I think that should be the new national anthem. I know that shit gets me pumped.
Dude, I'd like to thank Big Doll for coming. I mean, wow, what do we got to do to get this creep here? And Dominic from Eatontown. Holy shit, dude. I mean, are we giving away free food? Is this the soup kitchen?
I don't even know who Dominic from Eatontown is anymore. I haven't seen or heard from him now in, 3 weeks?
I don't know, man. I've been looking for him. I've been checking the blotters in the local playgrounds. He's nowhere to be found, man. He might have found himself, a nice trim one.
Well, the most important thing that I want to discuss is I got my fantasy football W in the bag. A nice, sweet field goal by Dan Carpenter to start the game. And that's the most important thing. And maybe we should just talk fantasy football, because we're not good at this fantasy MMA thing, Dolo. We just might as well be fans and shut our fat faces.
Clearly, dude. Maybe we're paying too much attention, to the fantasy MMA. It's counterintuitive, It's working against us. So I don't know, because Nick Frank, it's like the kid's an Ivy Leaguer, He just shows up for the midterm and the final and straight dominates it. And as a teacher, how are you not going to give the kid an A? What are you going to do? You're smart enough to just, not show up and come and wreck shit, and then so be it. We're the suckers sitting here, taking notes diligently, like, smoke coming from our papers, like terrible Testaverde from Saved by the Bell, A couple of losers.
Well, as great as he is, I did cut into his lead. I have a fucking long shot for the next event, and as long as I go perfect again and he shits the bed, maybe we can crown a new winner, but if not, this will be 2 in a row for him, and I'm not playing next time. That's all I'm going to say. He can do all the friggin' picks, and I'll just, veg out and look at some sweet videos online or something, or manage my fantasy team, because I'm getting sick of this shit.
No, I hear you, dude. I hear you. I got to find something else to do with my time. I mean, apparently even a free MMA show's too much for me. I'm not even getting anything for this, and I'm just like overwhelmed. I'm just like not sleeping on Sunday nights, and packing an extra diaper for the commute. Normally I'm good for at least one pant shitting, but on Mondays we double it up, man.
Well, don't feel free tonight. Just let it go, buddy, because you got no way to shit the bed tonight. We could just talk about anything we want. Go any which direction we want. You don't have the pressure of making picks, which you're fucking horrible at. So wherever we want to take this thing.
Absolutely, dude. I love it. You can expect nothing but verbal diarrhea from me.
Absolutely. So where do you want to start this thing? You want to start with the dust-up from 136, the man, Chael Sonnen, calling out Anderson Silva, the champ?
The savior of down weeks when there are no events, and we've been spoiled lately. There's fights like every Tuesday now for the UFC, which has been amazing the last month or so. But yeah, Chael Sonnen carries us when there's nothing else going on. So lead it home, my man.
Thank God he's got a mouth and he likes to run it. As we all know, he challenged Anderson Silva to a rematch, and it's a loser leaves town match. But it doesn't look like Anderson Silva's camp is too amped up about taking this rematch. Ed Soares chimed right in saying that, Chael Sonnen has been completely disrespectful. Anderson Silva's camp, his family's turned off by him, all this kind of happy horse shit. And then he said he has no business dictating what when the champ should be coming back from injury, because he called him out for Super Bowl weekend, and either he's not going to be ready by then, or Ed Soares is just trying to duck the match, which I don't think Silva really wants to duck it. Obviously, he's got to win over him, but he was getting the shit beat out of him for 4.5 rounds. Whether Chael was roided up or not, that's not the case. What we saw in that fight was a guy who could really legitimately bring it to him and take that fight. And Chael's training partner, I don't know if you heard this. Did you hear what Matt the Law Lindland had to say about the whole thing?
Dude, I'm a huge proponent of the law. Lay it on me.
Well, as I stated, and you reiterated, his name is the law. So if this guy can't tell you something that you should listen to, then I don't know who can. But Matt the Law Lindland, who I don't think has won a fight in 2 years now, he trains with Chael Sonnen, and he
minor detail. He is 0-7,000, but
right. I mean, he had his just due. I don't know his whole career. I don't know if he ever won a title or not. I don't think so. He's got a lot of experience.
Always a game fighter, though.
Always a game fighter, but the law, and I'm paraphrasing because I did pretty much the minimal amount of show prep I could, but I needed to throw some talking points onto a paper.
That's good, man. You're ahead of me, though. I can't even read. So you're pretty much my eyes and ears, my dude.
Yeah, I mean, I really literally had a lot of time today to get some stuff together, and I didn't do it. So basically, like I said, I'm going to paraphrase. What he's saying is that the blueprint is there. Chael Sonnen showed how you can beat Anderson Silva, and he was well on his way to doing that, as I stated earlier. But he feels that Anderson Silva, as in his own words, somebody's calling him, but I'll get to him in a second. In his own words, is that Anderson Silva is going to find a way to worm out of this fight, and he said his camp is already trying to do that by stating that they're disgusted with Chael Sonnen's actions and him calling him out and dictating when the champ should come. The champ, should be able to say when he's ready to return and who he's going to fight. Plus, he stated, he thinks his contract's almost up, so he doesn't know where Silva's head is at and where he's going to want to take his last 1 or 2 fights, which, of course, everybody wants that big super fight with GSP, so who's to say? But basically what he's saying is his camp and Anderson Silva don't want this fight because it's a very dangerous fight, and he wants to hold that belt and retire. What do you feel about that, bro?
I can't see it any other way. I think Chael Sonnen is, extremely bright and knows what he's doing. He's, as we discussed last week, he's putting it to a point where Anderson Silva can't take any other fight. I mean, it's not on the level, or maybe his next move is on the level of Koscheck, basically, claiming contracts are signed, when fights haven't even been offered. But he's pretty much pushing Anderson Silva into a corner where he's going to be so incensed and just enraged that he won't want to fight anybody else. And on the flip side, if it looks like Suarez is already trying to lay the groundwork to kind of have them not do this fight, but it's going to be out there, the $1 million question. It will tarnish his legacy. Sonen's the one guy who took Anderson Silva to the depths, and pretty much all he had to do is stay away from Silva at that point, a la Apollo Creed not staying away from Balboa in the last round. And that he just couldn't do it, and Anderson Silva was really pretty much done, but a testament to him being a champion. But if he doesn't take the fight, he looks scared. So all this Suarez stuff, they have all these handlers over there, and some of these guys may be good. I don't know how these guys make any money, these fighters, because everybody over in that camp in Brazil, between the Lighthouse, the Black House, and all them. There's like 13 trainers. It's just like, I understand that, the dollar goes a little further in Brazil, but, I don't know how these guys are all, making money off these 4 or 5 fighters that are doing well for themselves. But, he said, Anderson Silva realistically has 4 fights probably left in him. Not so much his contract, but just in him, and he thinks Sonnen should be last. I don't see what fight out there is interesting outside of this Sonnen fight. It makes sense. It's in the division that Anderson Silva has constantly said he won't leave and wants to stay in and finish his career. The GSP fight, I don't think too many people are peddling for. And, I think the thing with that fight is, we had discussed earlier, was that basically the UFC won't allow somebody to hold a belt in 2 different weight classes. So they're going to basically make GSP go up to 185, deplete the 170-pound division, which is still very good. But the belt will likely change hands a few times over the course of maybe 6 fights. So you go from taking a dominant champion to kind of throwing him up into a division where he may be pretty good, but I don't think he'll automatically be the number 2 in the division. It just doesn't make sense. So I think this is the fight that makes sense. I have no doubt it'll get made. When, I don't know, but it'll certainly go down. It would be awesome and make sense for Super Bowl weekend. It's always a good card. That's one of their flagship cards, along with 4th of July weekend and New Year's, that they try to really load up. It'd be awesome, dude. There's no better rematch in the history of the UFC.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I agree with you 100%, but we got a caller on hold, so I'm going to go to him now.
Is it press 1?
I don't know. It might be press 1. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello? Dude. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, little boy, want a popsicle?
Sure. How much are
I
they?
got a whole freezer full of popsicles. Come here, little boy. I got a wild berry flavor for you.
Do you got cumsicles?
Yeah, I do.
You wouldn't happen to have
for UFC faggots like you. UFC's fucking gay.
You wouldn't happen to have some cookies and wine, would you?
This ain't press 1. Ain't even going to have sound effects up here.
Everybody knows WWE. Everybody knows WWE's where it's at.
Oh, that's interesting.
That
Who
is
is
true.
this? Announce yourself, caller. I'd love to have some cookies and wine with you.
Yeah, shut up, faggot. UFC sucks.
Oh,
Phil Davis.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, he left.
Did he? The only thing douchier than us doing this show for free on Monday nights is people that have so little lives that they call in and try to tool on us like they're going to get a reaction out of us. I love it. Like, it immediately makes me feel better about myself, so I appreciate it. He was actually pretty good at the impression. I thought it was good, man. I mean, I would grab my ankles for that dude, certainly.
If anybody's interested, I could give his number out and
let's put it out there, dude.
Yeah, it's 319. Actually, we probably shouldn't.
Why? It'll probably be the first call we got in 7 years. It's the only reason he has a phone.
You're right. You're right, but then next thing you know, everybody's pissed at us. But it's 319-573-6268. That's the only time I'm saying it, right? If anybody wants to, call, buy some cumsicles from him, then
I don't know, man.
Feel free.
I think this guy lives in my neighborhood. He's the one who parks his van in the woods that says free candy on the side, right?
It absolutely
he seems legit.
At least he had some interesting points about the potential Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva rematch, because where we can go from there is, I don't know. I don't know what his whole point was, really. He wanted to sell us popsicles. But, no, it would be probably most profitable rematch in UFC history, like you were saying, because obviously, Chael, of course, is walking around with a little bit of sour grapes, calling himself the real middleweight champion. And, but I like his...
In the press conference, they asked him about the rematch, and he was just like, the way I see it, I am the middleweight champion. I am 1-0 and successfully defended my belt tonight when he beat Brian Stann. I mean, this guy's amazing, dude. He really is amazing. He's funny as shit. He's witty. He's an asshole. What else can you ask for, dude?
No, absolutely. And you know what the law called him? Referred to him as?
What's that?
Which I believe Chael has referred to himself as well. The people's champion. So,
ooh.
If Chael loses that match and he's got to leave town, maybe he can start some beef with The Rock.
I feel like there was another people's champion in history, so I couldn't remember. That was Dwayne Rock Johnson, huh?
No, I thought it was Rocky Maivia, but maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea.
It's all the same, I don't know. The way I see it, I just hope that Steamboat Savage is a good precursor to the loser leaves town match. I think that'll be good. Those two fought at WrestleMania 5 for the strap, and I would like to see them lead in this UFC card. If we get Steamboat Savage and then Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, that would be effing amazing.
That would be incredible. We have another caller.
Dude, I hope it's this guy again.
I'm hoping. Well, actually, I recognize the number, but I'm pretending like I don't.
Because I was going to say, he didn't even quote us a price on his popsicles.
He certainly didn't. I asked.
I got to know what I'm buying.
We haven't heard from this guy in literally weeks now. So, everybody at home, please, I got a little intro for him. Hold on one second before I go to his call, because I've been expecting him to call back, and, of course, I can't find it. So, this is just...
Is it press 1?
It's not press 1.
Oh.
What's up, caller?
Woo! Oh, my God. Hey, what's up? It's Dominic.
For life.
Oh, my God. Is that the olive oil voice of one Dominic Aspinall from Eatontown?
Obviously it is.
Where you been all my life, bub?
Oh, just was doing a little of this, doing a little of that. I've been busy on Monday, so you're gonna have to forgive me for not calling in the last couple weeks. But
all right.
I'm here. But the most important thing is I'm here now. I was 6 minutes early to log into the show. I'm all geeked up. I talked to you boys today. And what better way is it to let's get back to that last caller that you guys had. That was one of the most geekiest / amazing things I've ever seen in my entire life. First of all, when the person called in, I had no idea who it was. First, I thought it was Kev because he's usually the only other guy that calls in. And second of all,
Low.
Kev, every time you ask him, hey, how are you doing? Or who is this? There's like that usual pause, that like awkward pause. And whoever that was did that, which was quite funny. They must have been from California because they were talking about
popsicles. You know?
No, it was awesome, dude. I just want to say, make sure you stretch. You don't want to pull one of those creamy hamstrings.
That's another reason why I thought it was Tag, because who else knows that line besides us?
I thought it was Kevin as well, to be honest, because he's a huge fan of him, and he's a huge fan of Stewart from Mad TV. I don't want fish sticks. I want noodles. He's a big fan of that guy. So I'm expecting one of those impersonations to come forward. But so what's going on, Dommy? How we living, son?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I am currently right now tracking yours and mine fantasy score right now.
What's going on, dude? I thought B. Marshall just broke one off in your ass.
Yes, he basically did. And it didn't feel too good because he's got a quick 9 points in the first quarter.
Ooh.
And,
how about San Antonio? What's our scoring system in that league, Dom? If you have no catches for no yards, what does that equate to? I don't remember the scale on how we did this. And you being the commissioner, I know that you like to fudge the numbers.
That gives you a creamy cumsicle.
You should have been on our last call, dude. We were the market cornered on cumsicles here on Cauliflower.
Yeah, in case anyone else has cumsicles, remember the call number is 347-326-9741. Go on, Dommy.
B. Brown, it was hilarious as well when you gave out his phone number. You didn't want to do it at first, but then figured I'd just throw it out there.
You didn't want to do it, man.
Anyway.
That's how peer pressure works, dude.
Right. I didn't encourage anything, but whatever.
Yeah,
maybe he'll call back. Maybe he'll call back. Or
I hope he does, man. It did sound like he had an action-packed Monday night planned of humping his hand and, probably dreaming up of another call to tool on us with. And, again, to all those, all of our minions, feel free. Love to get calls, love to get tooled on. We are fans of come one, come all, cumsicles. I'd like to say cumsicles unite. I think that should be the slogan of the show.
I love how absolutely delusional I am, though. I give out the number like as if we have more than 2 people listening to us right now.
Right, and one of them's him. And he probably was like, nice, dude, I didn't know my own number. Like, we probably just helped him out. He didn't know how to do the feature to look up his own number. So, like, when he leaves a message, he's like, 313-24... Fuck, I'll call you back.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it, Mike.
I don't know. I didn't remember.
5736268. That's what it was.
I was dreaming of a hot summer day with my B-sack hanging out, just licking a cumsicle running down my hand, gripping.
That sounds appetizing.
Delicious?
Yeah. Definitely,
that's the name, dude.
About that. It's a little cold for cold cum, though, isn't it, fellas?
Well, dude, that's the beauty of it. It transcends time and season. You think Eskimos aren't up there just munching on cumsicles right now, dude?
Sure, of course.
Give me a break, bro.
Snow, and then it's just like a friggin' banquet for everyone.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's like the Jelly of the Month Club. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
You realize that we've fallen into that young man's trap.
So, Don, what's going on, dude? You got any questions, or are you just calling to shoot the shit, bro, and give me the fantasy update?
No, just to give you guys a fantasy update, let that douchebag who called in, let him know that he is basically a douchebag. And, hopefully he falls down the steps and breaks his neck later in the day. So that's basically all I got. I'm only mad because my fantasy team is losing. I wouldn't have said that.
I think that's fair.
I was doing well.
Well, I think that's definitely fair how you put it. So at least you didn't wish him too much harm. You could have said something a lot worse.
No, you don't die from a broken neck either all the time. So, Dominic wasn't being, vicious or vindictive there. I had a buddy of mine go through the windshield of a car and break his neck, and, he's still out hanging and banging now. So, it'll be fun.
Is he paralyzed?
No, not at all. It was actually my buddy Dave Klopp.
Beautiful.
He was it was in college. It was senior year in college, and it was Halloween night. I guess he was in the car with some kid banged up, surprisingly, and the kid crashed, and he went through the windshield. The cops didn't even know he was in the car. Like, they were cleaning up the scene. And he came walking up, and he was missing, basically most of his teeth. And he asked the cops if they had a lighter for his cigarette. And they were just like, dude, you need to sit down right now. And, obviously Clark is a sober individual. So he was just like, I would happily sit down if you just give me a fucking lighter. And oh, it was amazing. And even to count on that story, later on, years later, we were actually at a bar, wasted, and he came and we saw a girl from grammar school that we hadn't seen in a while. And I'm trying to be nice and be a human being and still live in this society somewhat because I think, I'm actually better than that. And, who am I kidding? I'm probably the most delusional person of us all. And he just, instead of saying hi, sat down at her table in front of all of her friends and started dominating their nachos. And, I excuse us, and we walk away, and he just smiles and says goodbye, and I realize that his 2 front teeth are gone. He had swallowed them in the process of making love to a plate of nachos. So, and it was 4th of July weekend, and he couldn't get to a dentist, so he had no teeth for about 4 days.
Amazing.
Well, you got to go in for the nachos, man.
That's it, man.
The plate of nachos.
They had him out on the table.
You got to dive right in. Exactly.
I told him, dude. I was just like, just wait till you shit them out. You'll be fine. The mouth is the cleanest part of the body.
Clean those fuckers off and just put them right back in, right?
That's it.
You don't need your 2 front teeth to dominate a plate of nachos. All you need is the ones in the back. You need your molars. That's it. And you're
I bet he was given mean gummers that weekend.
With teeth gone, it definitely lets it in a lot easier.
That's it, man.
This is a hell of a show. I love this show. Forget MMA. Talk on the phone.
We do talk about MMA somewhere in here. I don't remember where.
Well, you want to just do the rest of the show today?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not going to add too much to the MMA, but I'll stay on for another for another 10 to 15. This Jet game is basically
Look
over.
at that.
It's terrible.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm not going to really
You know
watch
what it is
that
now?
anymore.
We just formed
The DD
the World Order.
CDB.
Frank goes out. Frank goes out.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go. Yeah. That's it, Franco. You're done. You're out of here. For life.
The DVDs, baby. The stolen.
Hey, Tom, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
I know I got a fantasy W. Did you get a fantasy W this week?
No, dude, no. I'm still waiting right now. I'm waiting for San Antonio Holmes to get a pity catch. But it looks like Brandon Marshall just lost. He just left the game right now.
Oh, really?
No, dude,
game
they kicked a field goal, Dom. So apparently you know your MMA just like your football.
Oh no, well, I'm doing a radio show now, so I'm not paying attention to the game.
You don't have time for football. You're on an MMA radio show.
Yeah, please
Exactly.
forgive
Hold
me.
on one second. Let me change you guys talk amongst yourself. I'm going to add something to the episode info tonight.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Go to that commercial. I can't wait till you go to that commercial, Dub.
That's my
Whenever
favorite
I come back,
dude.
we'll probably head there.
I think it's about that time, too, Dubs. It's probably not a bad idea right now. But what can you do, man?
Well, just stretch it for a second because I'm typing, because I'm changing the episode info.
I don't know if you noticed, we're kind of struggling here right now, and Dominic and I are just kind of, silenced like Garth when Wayne left him on the set, When he walked out, we just like...
All right, how about this then? Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Do you like Joe Rogan?
Oh, Joe Rogan's amazing, dude. Definitely does a ton of blow before broadcast.
Oh,
I
my God,
love him.
yeah. That guy's a great quarterback. I love that guy. He's amazing. Yeah.
A lot of times I just scour the internet with my my pants off, and I type in the search bar Joe Rogan. Okay, and you know what turned up this week? Well, there was this little article written by the ex-member of this show, Nick Frank, and you know where you can find that article?
Where's that?
It's this little place called thexlog.com. Here you go. Listen to it.
A new era has dawned in blogging. Log on to thexlog.com and experience new standards and quality in commentary and analysis. Powered by rotoexperts.com, thexlog.com brings together the top expert bloggers with all the very best the Internet has to offer. You don't have to search for the most compelling and entertaining posts and writers anymore. They will be at your one central hub for high quality. So join us as a new revolution begins in sports and entertainment, only at thexlog.com. That's THEXLOG.com.
That's thexlog.com, where you can go check out all of Nick Frank's articles. He better start writing more because his Monday nights are Dunsky. But and thank you for joining us, Dom. I guess we'll move on to the next topic, which of course is on everybody's mind. Pro Elite 2 suffered a huge blow. The main event's blown apart, though. Have you heard about this?
I think I may have heard a rumor, but what happened, dude? Lay it on me. I don't know if I'm ready. Hold on, let me sit down. Okay.
Yeah, sit down, please.
Sound like me, man.
And the rest...
I have no clue.
And I'm sure the rest of you MMA fans out there are really going to be upset because apparently Pedro Hizzo won't be able to headline that show because he was supposed to square up against Tim Sylvia, former UFC heavyweight champion of the world.
Damn, dude. That was the only thing holding them back. I thought you were going to say Pedro Hizzo died of natural causes because he's 107.
He did hold the title in the UFC.
They're going to get Pedro Serrano to fill in.
Yes, dude. He's too busy doing Allstate commercials, dude, and being the Prez on 24.
That's for fact.
Drink Joe Boo's rum, baby.
Hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill. Are you trying to tell me that Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball? Jesus, I like him very much, but he no help with bendy ball.
So is your brother calling tonight, Dolo?
What happened?
Is your brother going to be calling in tonight or what?
I don't know what that kid's doing. I dropped him. I know. Let's get a four-way, dude. I don't know. I dropped him a line
Dolo
before.
called in? Go on.
No, I dropped him a line before, and he didn't answer, dude. So I don't know. Maybe he's hanging with that dude, eating cumsicles in a van. That's the only other place I can imagine he'd be. Because these are his
just
Monday
can't
nights.
turn those down. All right, I guess we'll, since nobody cares about Pro Elite, another interesting tidbit that came out. Obviously, Frankie Edgar defended his title, as we went over extensively last week, because we were all gushing about, Frankie Edgar and how he was so amazing coming back from that ass whooping and knocking out Gray Maynard. But there's another lightweight out there who, pound for pound, can argue that maybe he's the best lightweight in the world. And he was supposed to come to the UFC. It kind of got C-blocked because Showtime's crying because they need some stars to fill out these Showtime events. But Melendez says his head is there where he's got to go and beat Masvidal to defend the Strikeforce title. But after that, he wants into the UFC, and he said he wants Frankie Edgar, and he thinks he's beatable, and he thinks he's the man to do it. So, Dahl, did you read that?
I did. It's hard to argue, and the beauty of the UFC and Zuffa owning, Strikeforce now is that, all these hypotheticals and all these, dream matchups we're talking about, they're already starting to happen, right? We're finally getting Hendo and Shogun. We got Overeem again and versus Brock, who, 12 months ago everybody was like, that's 1-2 in the world at heavyweight, and it hasn't lost any of its, its luster. And this is the one fight that's teasing us and it's taunting us. So, I think Masvidal is really good. So I don't think Gil's overlooking him. I just don't think he's that type of guy. He seems like, a guy who really fighting is his life. But, I mean, Frankie's certainly beatable. Frankie's been beaten. I don't think anybody's saying that he's not. I just think that, Frankie looks awesome right now. I think he's getting better with every fight. But I expect Gil to go in and beat Masvidal, and I expect him to hopefully come and get get over right away, and we can basically then get the answer to that question. But gun to the head, Dubs, if we get that fight, say in 8 months, who you got in that fight?
I hate to sound like a nut hugger here, but after having that ass whooping put on him for the second straight fight by the same guy, Gray Maynard, one of the biggest, strongest lightweights out there, and coming back and not just beating him, knocking him out, avenging his only loss in his career, I can't see, because, like I said last week, before that fight happened, I had Frankie ranked pretty high in my own mind. I felt he was just, his skill-wise was just a head and shoulders above the rest, which you don't normally translate it into decision victories for the guy. He's got a couple finishes by submission, but, not many by KO at all, TKO, and he literally knocked Ray out. I mean, it was a well-placed shot, but, I mean, you knew Frankie was going to win the fight because he was just beating the shit out of Gray after that, and then he just happened to catch him, and he finished it off. So I think I got to take Frankie, but it's definitely a close fight. I mean, Gil deserves all the credit that he gets, even though it's not much, because he's kind of an unknown, even though he is such a great fighter, which is unfair to him. But he is going to get into that big show, and he's going to get to prove whether or not he deserves to be ranked as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, or is it possible that since he's fought in these smaller shows, and he's just a great talent, he's an elite-level talent, but is he really, truly the best? But before you reiterate, Mike, I want to know what Dom's feeling on Frankie is, because he's one of your people, Dom, an Italian stallion, and I'm sure he's got a juicy hog. What do you think?
Well,
From Jersey.
I think he should. Well, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me work in for a little bit with you guys. Frankie Edgar should be all right, man. He just based on his ethnicity alone, he should be all right. If he can get a couple rapid punches to the belly, maybe get a couple elbows in, maybe squeeze the other dude's breasts a little bit, throw in a rear naked choke, and away we go. You know what I'm saying? And if those things don't work right there, he can always give the Jim Harbaugh going for one of those handshakes a la Harbaugh, take an MFer down with that, no problemos.
That's true. And I want to say Dominic is not only getting well-versed more and more every week by listening to the show about his MMA, but I offered to show him what a rear naked choke was this weekend, and I've never seen him more excited. He got ass naked and started presenting in front of me. I said, Dominic, this is a misinterpretation, but you know what? I like the enthusiasm. I like the willingness to learn. I can work with that, dude. And, it came full circle, and we had a good time. I showed him the rear naked, and we washed it down with some Cumsicles.
That sounds like a great weekend. I got to leave my house.
Seriously, dude, we can bring it to you if you want. That's the beauty of the sport. You can do it anywhere, man.
Well, shit. You know me. I'm a psychopath, and I can't seem to pull myself out of that door. So I wouldn't mind if you guys showed up with your naked asses in a box full of Cumsicles, because I'll ask those things. I'm a fat bastard.
I was going to say, that's perfect. Dude, we'll come over, we'll get the crane, we'll knock the wall in like one of Morty's babies, and we'll get you out of that motherfucker, and we'll just start dropping rear nakeds, dude.
Rear nakeds, and maybe we get a couple bellies thrown in as well.
That's it, man.
Oh, absolutely.
You can do whatever you want, dude. It's the beauty of the weekend. And Dubs' house is like international waters. Are you kidding me? Anything goes, dude. You should see what he does to his dogs.
Poor thing. That poor thing.
Seriously.
Maybe we get alcohol
out of it.
Yeah, can alcohol come? Alcohol will be there. I know he's a proponent of the rear naked. I think he's a 17-degree black belt in rear naked.
He is a formidable opponent, but
better believe it.
Where do we? You know what we should talk about? Kimbo.
I was going to ask Dominic. Dominic, do you know Kimbo? Like, I mean, you've seen his fights and stuff right online, and I could see you sitting in the dark already.
The only reason why I like Kimbo, there's two reasons why I like Kimbo. Let me correct myself. The first reason is because of that sweet-ass beard he has. That thing is amazing. He can, like, pulling out pencils, he's pulling out condoms out of that thing. This thing stores, that thing's got, like, more room in it than my trunk in my car. It's a pretty damn sweet-ass beard. The second reason why I like him so much is because I literally saw him outside, and I'm not kidding, outside of the Tinton Falls Holiday Inn one day.
You were dead set on this, Tom.
I swear to God, it was him. It looked exactly like him. This dude was like 6'8". He had to have been like 350 pounds, and he was basically
Was he black?
Yeah, well, yeah. I didn't want to. I mean, it's obvious. Yeah.
No, he was purple. It was actually Barney, and he's got a pretty bad meth habit. And he's living in Tinton Falls now at the Pan Am Inn.
Yeah. Well, this dude was just hanging out. I mean, just having a grand old time, and you know, I would just happen to be passing by, and he asked me for a ride, and I had to tell him that it's probably not like, you know, I was in the work car. I couldn't do anything in the work car.
I wanted to, but I was interested in living, so I had unfortunately to turn him down.
That dude's way too scary. Why, is he fighting? Is he going to be in the fight?
You know what it is, dude? He's a professional boxer now.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's looked very good.
I don't watch.
They've hooked him up against guys who his first fight was against a guy who was 0-1, and guess how he lost his first fight?
How's that?
First round KO.
Oh, wow, really?
Guess what happened? They matched him up with Kimbo, and Kimbo won. Guess how Kimbo won?
How'd he do it?
In like 12 seconds, first round KO.
So, dude.
You know, but that's your first fight. You're getting your feet wet, right?
Right.
Get your feet wet. You got to work your way up the ranks. So his second fight just happened, I think, over the weekend, right, Mike?
Yeah, dude, it was bad. And the thing is, they're matching him up with dudes who are like, he was 244 and the guy was like 213. Like they're matching him up against jobbers, basically. I didn't know Kimbo fought, and then I saw a picture, and it was a guy laying through the ropes. Like he was literally suspended on the second rope. He had knocked him almost clean out of the ring. And you know, Dubs and I wanted to pose the question: who would you like to see Kimbo fight next? Dubs and I vote for Evander Holyfield. We think he's poised for another comeback at the young age of 53. I think he's ready. I think he's in his prime. Dominic, is that a fight? You know, if Don King got his hands on it, you'd pay $700 to see, which he'll probably charge you.
Of course I would. I would definitely. I would want to see. I'd want to see Kimbo fight anybody because there's only so many YouTube videos you can see this guy just rocking people. But what we could do also is we could dig up the body of Michael Jackson and just have him beat the living shit out of that thing.
Jesus.
If they wanted to do that. Now, if you're going to charge me $700, I'd like to see that. Now, that might be a little bit more on the interesting side.
You guys are ignorant.
What's that?
Maybe that's a little ridiculous. I don't know.
That's amazing.
No, I like it. I'm no longer interested in the Evander Holyfield fight because, you know, I now that you brought up the Michael Jackson thing, I think that's where it's all at.
The thing is, though, I think Michael, even in death, has lapped Holyfield 7 times over in money. Because, you know, Holyfield, unfortunately, somehow is broke, even though this guy has probably taken home over $100 million over the course of his career. You know, we can list some of his asset stubs. We have, you know, and some business decisions. We have the $20 million home, which, you know, I mean, very necessary. The 5 or 6 kids, I'm sure, sprinkled amongst a few different ladies of the night, if you will.
You're going very conservative with 5 or 6, but go on.
And I think the other thing is, unfortunately, sometimes the worst thing you can do is not act. So he took that to heart and decided to act on anything. And I believe he's a direct competitor of George Foreman, is he not? What products does he have out there, Doug?
Absolutely. I don't know if you know this, but he sells the Real Deal grilling machine, which I'm sure is probably just as good of a seller as George Foreman's grill, but just it's Holyfield now. And if you remember, they did fight in the ring, and they're squaring off, and you got the Real Deal grilling machine. So, you should definitely check it out because I'm sure Holyfield says my grill is better because I believe that's his direct quote. Did we lose somebody?
Right. There's something wrong with your end of the phone. It sounds like you're underneath the water. I can't really hear you all that well. No, it still sounds the same.
All right. Well, you guys go on. Do something. I'll try to fix it.
I'll hang up and then call back in.
Dominic, the show's yours.
Might not be me. You might have to find this fucking shit fella.
Yeah, I don't know if it's working. I can't really hear you all that well because it sounds like. Here, hold on. That might be better. Say something.
Hello?
Yeah, no, that's
there he is. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
I thought we were going to skate there and finally get rid of Dubs, and Dom and I could finally have this date we've been waiting for.
Right. Big Dolph says I sound like a robot. Do I still Big Dolph?
Yeah, that's going to take a minute.
You sound fine now.
Yeah, you sound fine now. There was some kind of weirdness going on. I wasn't going to say anything because I was just laughing at you. I'm just kidding. I was going to answer, but I had a mouthful of, cumsicle.
I don't blame you. Isn't that what we were talking about? Isn't that what Holyfield's selling? Cumsicles?
Yeah, exactly.
Dolo wants to start a new game. Anytime Cumsicles are mentioned, everyone takes a shot. So we're going to have to keep this going.
I don't think we can play that, dude, because we're not proponents of blackout drinking here at Cauliflower, and that would certainly be the end result.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of it. I'm not really allowed to drink alcohol anymore. But if I was, I might be for it.
You know what I'm hoping is going to hit the market soon, dude? The Evander Holyfield nose trimmer. I'm thinking that has legs. I'm thinking that could take off.
Absolutely.
So hopefully he can get on something. That. That's it.
I was actually, you know what might have screwed up the reception? I was decided I wasn't going to pay attention to you guys at all. I'm going to be honest here. And I started perusing YouTube. Of course, at first, I was trying to find the Real Deal grilling machine commercial because I wanted it to put it in the chat room, and that just might have been enough to screw with the reception since my connection here is being fed through my lovely PC, which is probably about, I don't know, fucking 6 years old at this point, so we're really running on a lot of horsepower over here.
Dubs, when you start your computer, do you have to put gasoline into the side of it and then pull a cord?
Is that how yours works? Like that commercial. It's like that commercial where they go, oh, stop killing the earth. Oh, God, look, what would happen if everything ran on gas? And, I shut it off and I immediately gas my car up and drive for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. I would probably just light a match and watch it all burn.
Absolutely. So my voice is fixed, Big Doll says. Hopefully I got the information out there about the Real Deal grilling machine, and I apologize for the problems.
You sound as good as usual, Dubs. You're good now.
Thank you. Well, that kind of slowed my roll up, and I'm just going to go huddle in the corner and turtle up. So if you guys want to kick me, go right ahead.
What other fights are there any fights that are happening this Saturday?
No, we just decided to come on here and wing it tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why you're staying on for 40 minutes.
Yes, that's why we...
I hope you weren't planning on doing anything.
That's why we pulled you into this, and we formed the NWO. So,
you know what? I don't want to give shameless free plugs, but again, in the spirit of not listening to a word any of you say, I typed Cumsicle into Google just to see what would come up. We got the Cumsicles channel on YouTube. That could be fun.
Really?
And then, shockingly, there's an ad for street blowjobs from Cindy.
Shit.
And then you can just do a whole bunch of other nasty stuff. But anyway, let's talk about some MMA. I think it's only fair.
Well, everyone at home,
can I just add one more thing about the? Yeah, can I add one more thing about that? They actually let that go through on the chat room. They actually let that word go through on you. Like they won't take, the F word. They won't take shit or anything like that. But it takes Cumsicle, so we're all good on that.
Good to know.
We can get back to the MMA in a second, but I just found a little piece here. It's in the Urban Dictionary, and it says...
You said dick.
Cumsicle. And
great website.
Yeah, the Urban Dictionary. Do you want me to read some of these definitions?
Lay it on.
Because
they
give the definition, and then they use it in a sentence in case you're having trouble understanding. Right, exactly. So in case you ever needed to spell cumsicle, they give you a sentence. So anyway, the first definition is frozen treats made from seminal fluid, and the sentence is cumsicles.
That is horrible. I can't believe someone's taken the time to put that to print.
There is 3 definitions, so I will go through them all and then maybe add one myself, but I'm not ready to do that yet. Definition number 2. I guess they're in the order of popularity because the first one has 88 thumbs up and only 8 down. So the second one, the definition number 2 is, it seems like a question more than anything, so I guess people just log on here and write shit. Is frozen cum on a stick, much like a popsicle? It can be a nice, tasty, refreshing treat, especially to enjoy when horny, LOL. Which means laugh out loud, in case you were wondering.
Does it say horrible football team with chubby coach?
I'll look that up next. But there is a sentence accompanying this definition as well, and it says, I enjoyed a nice, refreshing cumsicle yesterday when I got really horny from reading Urban Dictionary.
Kidding. Is this really up there?
I enjoyed my cumsicle as I masturbated. Yummy.
Oh, I guess you're not kidding around then.
We call that
no, not at all. This is real. I mean, I will put the link up because these aren't my words, so I don't want anybody to be down on me for this, okay?
Okay. Thank you for that, sir.
Oh, wait a second. There's fucking 7 definitions. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't read these all.
I think we'll keep it to 3.
All right. All right, then maybe I'll pick out the best one, because that last one was a real stinker. I really didn't get a kick out of that one, I'm not going to lie.
Hey, Big Doll says that this drinking game is great. I'm hammered.
My vote for the best definition has to be the first one, the one that goes,
Yeah,
that was the best one.
I agree, dude. I think that's right. It got 88 thumbs up.
It wasn't creepy enough on its own. They had to really just hammer it home with the
Yeah. Well, whoever wrote those, if they're out there in Radio Land, thank you for putting those definitions in there, because I don't know if we'd be able to survive this show without any of that stuff written on that website there.
Yeah, true stuff with that.
Yeah, hopefully the show survives after this, but we'll see what happens.
I would have to think that this is going to be the flagship show. I would have to think they will not welcome us back after tonight.
The rest of the sentences aren't that good.
There's got to be 10 minutes. There's got to be 10 or 11 minutes worth of the hour that's going to be quality stuff in this. So let's not get too down on ourselves here. And Nick, if you're out there also, you see what happens when you don't join in on the show on a Monday? It goes right downhill.
When Mom and Dad go out of town, do you expect the kids not to throw a party? I mean, really?
Yeah, exactly.
What did you think?
We better clean this mess up before he comes back, or else somebody is going to get in a lot to trouble here, and we're gonna pin it on Dom. We know we are.
Oh yeah, he's a bad egg. He's the one who brought the cumsicles and got everybody wasted.
Blame it on the rookie. That's fine by me.
You gotta take your lumps, Rook. It's part of the initiation. It's like getting sexed in, you know.
Fair enough. That's fair enough then.
All right.
It's better than watching the Jet game, believe me.
Is it really?
They're going in though.
Well, we pulled
the score.
Yeah,
we pulled way off the road there.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Did we talked about Kimbo, I suppose, right?
We did.
Knockout. Kimbo.
We talked about Kimbo and his hangouts over your favorite hangouts, like the Tinton Falls Hotel. But what do you think about Anthony Pettis was in the media today saying that he wants to fight a top 5 heavyweight, and he feels like Joe Lauzon is a top 5 heavyweight. And he says, 1, he respects Joe, and 2, he thinks it's a great matchup for him. So what do you think, Dubs? I mean, if you had to pick that fight right now, who would be the winner of that match?
If I had to pick right now, I definitely I like Lauzon. Obviously, I picked him last card, and it wasn't just to be a dick to disagree with you and Franco. I think he's a game fighter. when the challenge is out there and it's tough, and especially when he's being doubted, I think he comes in there with a chip on his shoulder and he's ready to prove that he belongs to be there. His first fight in the UFC, he not just beat. I mean, it was a monumental upset. He beat Jens Pulver, who was a previous champion in the company, and it kind of just stunted Little Evil's comeback attempt with the UFC. But he's very game on paper. As much as I hate to doubt the guy because of everything I just pointed out, I just can't see him beating Pettis. I mean, Pettis he's so dynamic on the feet. I mean, of course, everybody, if you bring up Pettis' name, they'll always bring up that kick off the cage that he did to Ben Henderson, and which won him that fight against Ben and got him the WEC lightweight title. And then, of course, he didn't, because of the draw with Frankie Edgar and Gray Maynard, he didn't get his chance to fight for the lightweight title and end up losing to his first fight out. And but I think I got to go with Pettis just because, just seeing his groundwork, even in the Guida fight, he definitely has submissions, and obviously Lauzon is a jiu-jitsu specialist, and Lauzon has hands, but I just think Pettis has better hands, better kicks, and I think their jiu-jitsu is on the same level, so I got to give it to Pettis. I think he would win. More than likely, I think he would finish Joe, but I wouldn't be shocked to see it go a decision either.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Joe has made a habit and a career out of just being underestimated, and that's no fault of his own. He's done nothing but grind and work his butt off and put himself in a great position. I don't think Pettis would do that. I don't think he'd underestimate him. I think he gets frustrated with guys who want to kind of lay and pray. I don't think Joe's that kind of guy. It'll certainly go to the ground, but you've seen Pettis has an active guard, and Joe Lauzon is a great ground, submission artist. So I think it would make for a good fight. I think at the end of the day, Pettis would probably get the win. Joe doesn't put himself in a lot of bad spots, so like you said, I don't think Pettis would necessarily finish him, but I just think he's the better fighter overall, and I think at the end of the day, Pettis would probably come out victorious, but I think it would be an awesome fight. So I hope it happens. And the other thing I want to see at 155 is I want to see Gray Maynard and Melvin Guard. So I hope that happens. And the great thing about the UFC is, dude, you can love them, you can hate them, you can really complain, do whatever you want. They really do put together the fights that people want to see, and it's as if we're picking the fights, and that doesn't happen a lot. So I think these are all very real possibilities, and hopefully both of those fights happen.
Absolutely. What I want to know is, Dom, who do you think out of these two characters has the bigger hog on them?
Yeah, what Mike Dolan just said. I have no idea. I've never seen a picture of these two. I've never even heard of these guys.
Pettis is pretty attractive.
I could imagine. I'm sure he's into that whole cumsicle thing, too.
Yeah, but Don, just think about it logically. You got one named Pettis and one named Lauzon. One sounds white, one doesn't. Who do you think has the bigger hog here?
Right.
Take, a fucking genius to split you out of here.
I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with neither until. I just can't. I can't really give you an answer. I'm
right.
stuck on the fence here, boys. Either way, I can't really give you an answer.
We love fence sitters here. It makes it all easy. I should have sat on the fence during this whole time, and maybe I wouldn't have been losing as badly as Franco. I could have just forfeited.
It's true.
I'm still losing in fantasy, by the way, too.
Well, Dolo does the show every Monday with me, so I'm very happy to see him win. I'm sorry. I know that injures you.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with me beating you last week either.
No. Listen,
in my experience, Brian's a very good sport. He is a great loser and an even better winner. And he would never let that cloud his judgment. He's nothing but an outstanding citizen and just an all good guy.
We always have games where they're nail biters, but one of my favorite things on the face of the earth is to watch Dub Bees when he's winning his fantasy game and he's playing somebody that's in the same room. Him standing up, doing the head shake with the hands clapping, and just with the big grin on his face, while the other person is just sitting on the couch. You can see that their face is starting to melt because they're so hot. It's one of my favorite things to see. I just love it so much. You hate when it's being done to you. You hate when it's being done to you, but when it's being done to somebody else, it's one of the best things on the face of the earth. It's almost better than sex to watch that.
It's one of the only things I'm good at is taunting people and guaranteeing things that, I have no idea if they're really going to happen, but it's great when they come true because, as I'm taunting that person, not only do I tell them this is how it was going to go down, it ends up happening, and then they just want to fucking split my face open with a tire iron. I know it, and it just feels so good. It feels so good to get somebody that angry.
You're like probably, I'd say, at least 5 for 10, so 50. Your percentage on that is 50%. On every time you say something that's going to happen, it actually does. You should actually, I know. You should actually put some money down on Vegas on some of these games because I'm telling you, dude, I've been there. I've been in that room when you are saying, "Oh, this dude's going to fumble here," or "This guy's going to throw a pick piece for 7," and what happens? It does. It happens.
When this is no bullshit, and Steve's obviously not here, but next time you see Steve, Steve can vouch for this. When the Yankees were in the World Series 2 years ago, I called exactly how many pitches it was going to take Rivera to close it out. And, that's the time when it works out. The other fucking 90% of the time it doesn't happen. But you know what what the people remember? The time that it does happen. And that's why I say this stupid shit, to annoy everybody. And it works. It works.
Yeah, you're like the bed bug that never leaves someone's bed. You just root yourself right in there and you just don't let go. And it just becomes so frustrating to the point where you just want to, like you said, take a 9-iron and beat the living shit out of you with it.
Beat the hell out of me. I'm like a festering fucking burrowing parasite that just won't go away.
Yeah, it's only fantasy sports, though. Let's not get
it's not the end of the world unless you're in this guy's world, and this is my world. If I don't win, I'm friggin' pissed. Yeah, I need this shit. If I don't have this, I got nothing.
Right.
As we went over at the beginning of the show, I don't even leave my house. What else do I got?
It's a long off season, Dom, for this guy. There's not a lot going on.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm dying. So, we forgot to talk about, Dolo, how, we got so sidetracked with all of our hot talk tonight. Melendez also expressed interest in moving up to the welterweight division.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a little bit of gamesmanship. I mean, obviously, he could. He's definitely a bigger lightweight. I don't think that's where his focus should be right now. I think he was just kind of talking, and I think it's hard for those guys over in Strikeforce to kind of stay in the conversation and stay relevant. I mean, and I don't think Gil has that problem because he's the biggest name over there, and he's a supreme talent. But he could probably fare pretty well at 170. He's got a good wrestling base. He's a good striker. I mean, obviously the guys are going to be bigger, but I don't see him going anywhere. I mean, he has to take care of Masvidal first, which is no small task, and then conceivably come over to the UFC and take care of Frankie or whoever has the strap at the time. So I think the only way he'd be at 170 is if he, came over and lost a couple in a row and he needed to go be relevant there, because I don't see him coming over and being that dominant that he would clean out 155 and then all of a sudden go to 170. But, it's fun. It's interesting. He's a confident guy. A lot of those guys talk in that camp, but he's kind of a mixture, I feel like. Nick and Nate Diaz talk a ton of shit. Jake Shields has a vagina. And then he's kind of the middle ground. He's kind of the guy who's confident, but he's not an asshole. He's not cocky. He can back it up. He likes to talk a little bit, but he doesn't talk out of the side of his mouth, or his other lips, like Jake Shields.
Oh, Jesus. Can we not talk about Jake Shields? Here's my feelings on it. Obviously, if he loses, makes sense. He could move up. But if he wins, he very well might clean out the division, or, here's the thing. Obviously, his stablemates, like you pointed out, Jake Shields, got lost and pretty much dominated in his title fight with George St. Pierre. If the unthinkable happens, and which I can't see it happening, it's probably because I'm not a huge BJ Penn fan either, and I like Nick Diaz. If BJ somehow pulls off the win against Diaz, and, GSP, or even if Condon pulls off the upset, but if GSP retains that belt, it's gonna show that GSP, beat his stablemate, possibly if Nick Diaz advances to the title or gets bumped off by BJ Penn. If Diaz advances and GSP beats him, who's left out of the Gracie camp to go fight GSP, and then they could still leave Nate at 155 and possibly take that title. So, you know, it's sort of like somebody, they feel they have a game plan that is going to work against George, in my feeling, and they want to execute it. If they want somebody to do it and take that belt from him. But we got 30 seconds left, boys, so I think we're going to have to bring this one home.
Take it home and toast Dominic, our new tri-host.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just want to say thanks a lot, guys, for letting me join the show today. It was definitely an experience, and if Nikki Balls isn't going to be around anymore, let me know. Text, give me a shout, and I'll give a call in, and I'll geek it up with you boys.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing the show with us. Everybody remember to check out Roto Radio. Check out the xlog.com. Check out, I guess, Nick Frank, even just kicked up the show, and Frank, Roto X, me at Cauliflower, the number 4 ear at Twitter. And we're Cauliflower for the Year. We're tapping out.